Yeah. And yeah. So welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We are back here again. Welcome. The journey continues. The journey goes on. And as always, Talo Falava, and welcome back. I'm your host, DJ Hen, aka Hen Dog, aka Hennessy. Henry Whitley is my name. And I'm here with my lovely co-host. Say hi.
Hi,
What's your name?
my name is Tala.
It's my honey bunny. And today we have a special guest
Mhm.
on the podcast here for everybody to listen to. And the reason why I wanted this guest on is because I like to interview people who are very interesting and I know that can help out, inspire, and give tips to all of our Polynesian, Melanesian, Micronesian, all walks of life, whoever you are out there in the world. That's what this podcast is for you to listen to us and to listen to our special guests we have on. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome a, a strong Samoan woman, a woman who is just an amazing person, very intelligent, has been through the ups and downs. This is a person just like you and me, my lovely cousin, Nana Taylor. What's up, girl? How you doing, Nana?
Hi. Hello. I'm so good. Thank you. I'm amazing. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks for being with
Talofa
us.
lava. And to everybody listening, also Talofa, Malolele, Aloha, Yorana, Pulavinaka, Kiora, Mabuhay, Afade. And hey, do you got anything that
Yeah,
you
do
know
you
how
know
to
how to
say
say hi
hello?
in any?
Hello. No, no, just
No, yeah.
telephone.
Talofa, there you go.
Yep.
You
I
need
had
to
to learn
learn Portuguese. We have Portuguese in our blood. So
Portuguese. For real? How do you
yeah.
say hello in Portuguese?
I have no idea. I think it's just hola. No, just
Oh,
the
is this like
Hispanic.
Spanish?
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
it's
It's a little
Hispanic.
different, but it's pretty much the same.
I'd
Yeah.
love to touch base with that side though. That'd be dope.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
know that.
awesome.
Well, I know, like I said, for you listeners out there, this is my cousin. She's my cousin, and on my mother's side, and we have some Irish. We got some Irish blood in us, right? That's
Some
correct. We got some
Scottish in the
Irish,
Taylor line.
Scottish.
Hmm.
Oh, is it Scottish? Scottish. I mean
Mhm.
Scottish. Yeah, in the Taylor line because from the history was it's like great. Oh, geez, I'm gonna just totally blow this, but back in the day, he was a boxer, a Scottish
Right.
boxer. He came to Samoa
Yep.
and won't. There you go. That's what happened. That's how we got a little bit of Scottish blood
Yep.
in our veins, in our
Hmm.
cocoa. But yeah, so um, before we start interviewing our special guest, I just want to tell all you listeners out there, as always, please, in order for our podcast to grow and for us to be up there like on the top search bars and stuff,
Hmm.
please subscribe, leave a review, rate, and comment on the Growing Samoan podcast, whether it's Apple, iTunes, podcasts, or the YouTube page,
Yep.
or whatever, wherever you listen to the podcast on. Please do that. And other than that, yeah, we're just gonna start our interview. And well, how was your day?
You know what? I just had a lot of studying for this morning. So just kind of studying, keeping my game up in the morning. Like I feel like reading in the morning is kind of just
Oh,
sets my day,
oh,
you
you're
know.
like this one. She loves to read. Yeah, you guys are
Um,
readers.
yeah, what are you reading right now?
Oh, but I'm not reading any like financial or anything like that.
Oh,
I
okay.
I just in general I love reading romances
Mm.
and
Oh,
Okay.
I
yeah.
call that nasty books.
Wow.
What a romantic, right?
Right.
women.
Ugh.
There, see, men
Men
are
are visual.
dogs. Men are dogs.
They're
We, yeah,
visual.
we,
We
True.
have
yeah,
imagination, which is
women.
We need a picture book.
Yeah, you guys, women.
like
Yeah, they get
comics.
emotional. They gotta
Comics.
see
You're
it.
right.
You
Minimal words.
slowly,
Right.
slowly trickle down into
Yeah.
all that.
I was cracking out. He'd be reading. He's like,
I'm
I'm
like, what
like,
you doing? You reading? Oh, you reading your nasty book? Huh? Oh, that's how girls. That's how the women are.
that's
That's real talk. But
yeah. I like a lot of like they all kind of are romance, but they're either like contemporary or paranormal or whatever it may be. But
But that's
yeah.
that's a trip though, because like women, their sense of uh pleasure, if you might call it, is very subtle. You got to read a book, you get
It's true.
emotional,
Mhm.
and
You do.
yeah. For men, you
You
just
have to
got to.
entice our minds.
Yeah, it's all up here.
Yeah, unfortunately, us men don't get that memo.
Nope. No,
Right.
right. Doesn't take much. They see it.
It's so simple.
It's so simple,
But
but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We
fail
always crack up
every
about
time.
that.
I know.
While my
You're
dog,
telling me I'm
Right, right. We know.
right. I feel you, girl. I feel
I
you.
actually said that on the podcast. I was on a podcast, and I think I mentioned that you have to compliment a woman at least once a day, because hey Nana, you look lovely today. Honey, you look lovely
Oh,
today.
thanks, babe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I mean,
Or if
if it's out of the blue.
or if you want that,
Yeah.
walking down the street, beep beep, hey, what's up, Chico? Hey.
Not
Like that
scheduled
kind-
compliments,
Right.
like it can't
Not,
be
yes,
like
yes,
just
yes.
surprise us. Like
Yeah. If it's like unsuspecting, then that, yeah, you get pleasure from that. It's like,
Right.
oh, well, thanks, But
Yeah.
if it's like, if he thinks that he has to, then it takes the
And we can feel that too.
Yeah, I know when you're lying, babe.
No, when something else is like coming behind it, like another favor behind.
What do you want?
Right.
Why are you being nice?
Yeah. Then if you're a guy, then you get to get away from me. Okay. That's a good way to break the ice to start off the podcast.
Yeah, no, seriously. But yeah, the books, the reading, I definitely like to start my day off that way, or just like quiet. And that's why I feel like studying is so important for me in the morning, because it's my quiet time. Like it's my me time. It's really how I enhance my brain and really get all that feeding in, because the rest of the day I'm sure is going to be busy, like loud, noisy from people. So I just make sure that I keep that solitude time, like, and that's how I do it, whether it's studying, reading, just literally I can just be sitting on the porch listening to music and coffee and silence, so whatever it is. And recently it's been reading, studying.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I love
So
reading.
let's get some more info on on you, because this podcast is all about, is exploring a Samoan woman like yourself, somebody I think that's very intelligent and can inspire a lot of people. And we want to ask you, so tell us a little bit about yourself, your history, about you growing up, where you came from, and your household and stuff like that.
Well, like
if you want, you can just talk about anything.
Yeah,
You don't have
general.
to.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me about your GPA and you had number Fs when you were in elementary and all that.
So yeah, I'm Nana Taylor. Like Henry had explained, we're family through his mother and through my grandfather, their siblings, and which is my dad's dad.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up my parents are Samoan, but we didn't actually have that like traditional Samoan upbringing.
The Fa Samoa upbringing.
Fa Samoa, it wasn't too enforced on us, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe my mom grew up in it and she was kind of at that, generation where they started to like kind of weed off of it, or kind of like break off and branch off of that type of just one way mentality. At least it's a great mentality to have, but it's, she was kind of she went to college in Utah. She went to Utah State University. And then my dad, you already know my dad, in the streets of Frisco.
San Francisco, California.
The Bay. And so that's where they met. She went to Frisco for a like a little weekend getaway to her sister, met my dad, and it was a wrap from there. So here you have like a scholar, and then you have my dad from the streets. So we were born. I have 7 siblings. There's 7 of us here. And again, yeah, we were just not that typical, that Samoan household.
More Americanized.
Well,
But
it's not.
there's a lot of like what you think is not typical, man. There's a lot of us, and especially out here in the States, in the west coast of America.
Yeah.
But yeah. So and just keep going on with your story. Yeah. Where were you born?
We were raised here in Seattle, born raised here between here and Southern California.
Were you born in Seattle?
I was born in Seattle.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, okay. So you're a true Washingtonian.
I am totally Washingtonian. Yes, I'm
Right
Seattleite all the way. But between here, Southern California, kind of back and forth. So we have like a lot of family in Southern California too. Living there for several years, and then we moved back out here in '02, and we've been planted since. And when I say we, I mean my parents, their kids, all of us here. We kind of just settled back here in Seattle.
'02 was the year.
Yeah.
Because that's the year I came here.
Really?
Uh-huh.
'02 was the year, and we like
had a reunion.
Yeah. That's right. We had the Taylor side reunion, and it was in Spanaway or something. But before '02, a lot of people that listen, they know my history is we moved up here. My family moved up here in '93 from the Bay Area, and we moved up here because my dad was the soifua of the church, and he branched out up here, and that's where we became real close with Nana and all the siblings and my uncle and auntie, and we all went to church together. You remember them days?
I sure do. Right behind the Juanitas, that house is everything.
the west side of Seattle. They call it the West. And it was very fun times as a child, where a lot of us go through that, being raised in the church.
Yeah.
And we've been raised in the church, and we have a lot of fun times together. And it was crazy because we've been through a lot, and it's mainly through church functions.
That's true.
I remember not all the siblings. We always just had fun. We would do conventions, mafukangas and stuff, whether it be up here in Washington or California. Yeah. And then we grew up and split up. Everybody, we just left the church. I think it was in '96, I believe.
I think we left a little bit before that. We kind of branched off to Sold Out.
Yeah. And then it was weird because we were young. We were just the children of the parents who were running the churches. My dad was a soifua. Your dad was a pastor too, along with the church. And because I was a junior high school. Then I remember we left.
Yep, I remember.
We branched out. My dad just left the church, and I was about that age where I was like, I ain't going to church anymore, Pops. Just going.
Is that what happened?
That's what happened with me. I was just I think I was a junior in high school, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'll drop you off at church though, Dad, if you want, because he started going to another church out here in Federal Way. And
the Fala Al Church.
Yeah. Big ups to all the church members and everything. Because when you're raised in a Samoan household, I mean, it's typical that, you guys are attending someone's church, whether it's related or not. So,
I mean, 5 days a week, you know what I mean? That's really what it...
24/7, that's what it felt like to me. Yeah.
I don't know how you guys did it. I grew up and I'm cradle Catholic, so...
Yeah.
So, I mean, we went to church every Sunday. I mean, unless we were in the choir in the off-white business.
Very different.
I only saw them on Thursdays for choir practice, and then Friday nights was family nights at the church hall, and so it's a little, when he used to tell me that it was from sun up to sundown, and I was like, whoa.
Wake up.
Yep.
Everything. It's your world, our world at least, revolved around ministry growing up all our lives. I mean, it didn't help for us because we actually became the praise and worship team, my siblings and I. Yeah. We became the praise and worship team. We had no choice.
Oh yeah, you were in it.
Literally, we were vested.
Yeah, but you know what?
In there.
You're in there.
Yep.
And all in all, to all the praise and worship teams and to everybody who's had to la'u instruments. Man, I had to la'u instruments in and out of the church. I was in the band too. I was in the faili, at a young age because the parentals wanted us to do all that. I was Jesus. Remember, I was Jesus.
And every play with the long hair.
I had long hair, so they're like, "Oh, you got to play Jesus." And I was just a kid, I was like a teenager. I was like, "All right, I guess I'm Jesus." Had to learn all the verses for the plays, Easter Sunday plays. But what I want to say is big ups and props to all you children going through that right now, or all you adults that have been through that right now, because I think it's a blessing because it's put us on a good foundation
Absolutely.
of faith, to keep us going through these crazy times like the coronavirus, man.
I totally agree. Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, even all because like we moved to California, like I was saying, out in the IE area, like Riverside is where we went to church, but we were living in Marina Valley.
You're in the Inland Empire. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's where my neighbor's from.
Like we still have, huh?
My neighbor, the one that I was talking about earlier, that's where he's from. He's from Moreno Valley.
Oh, yeah. Houses are cheap out there right now.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But it's a good area. They're like modernizing everything. It's really nice now. But yes, between there and here, I totally lost my train of thought.
Oh, when you guys moved back to California after you guys left here.
Church. Yeah, we ministry. I mean, I was 12 years old.
Wow.
And
start you off young.
My parents, we had been doing ministry longer, but that's when we had taken up the leadership roles in the ministry, right behind my parents. We had teamed up with like a lot of our Tongan family out there in Riverside. And so there was like Bible study, like 3 times a week. There was a church, like services, like maybe twice every Sunday. But it was really weird because we enjoyed it. Like, it was fun. It was so much fun. It was good spirits. It was good people around us, and even till now, like there were a lot of like mentors that I got out of that, like spiritual mentors. Even now, like there's still life mentors. I still go to them for everything. Musical mentors, just I wouldn't trade it at all. I'm so grateful for the time that we spent in ministry.
Yeah, that's dope. That's one thing that I do love about our faith as Christians. Well, a lot of us Polynesians, Micronesian, Melanesians, we had a lot of missionaries come to the Pacific and have converted us to Christianity. And I love it. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there's atheists, there's, people like Joe Rogan, but they all have a certain level of respect for friends or relatives who are Christians. And us growing up as Christians, to me, it's simple. It's like, if you have a faith that is nothing but good, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, geez, it's like, just have something. If you don't have nothing, then you're just gonna be floating in la la land and end up a cuckoo, crazy head, shooting up schools and doing all some stupid stuff. But the Word of God, it teaches us that, hey, we have a foundation. This is what we believe in, and it's good over evil. It's like, why not? Yeah, it's like,
it sharpens us to be better people, and that's really, like, I wouldn't take it now, being in business and seeing how many people, like, just fellow, like, business people, like people like respect too, not having that foundation of faith. I feel like that
it's a little piece that they're missing.
Such a big difference. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if your mentorship has some like spiritual like backing also, like, I actually no. I will just say it like this, like, my favorite people to listen to in the morning for like mentorship and guidance and stuff, they kind of use what we know for general knowledge and how we've come to know like business and stuff, all of those strategies and stuff, but they also base it back to the Bible. And
who are some of those speakers that you listen to?
My favorite right now is Nicola Smith Jackson.
Nicole Smith Jackson. Okay.
Nicola,
I've never heard of her. Is she like a motivational speaker?
She's definitely a public figure, but she's earned her name. Like, she's probably one of the top network marketers in the world.
Okay. They're very motivational.
Very, very successful. Such a powerful woman. She has a conference call. If you want, I can give you the link for it. It's just an open call for everybody every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty good about making it every morning at 5, but she starts everything with prayer, has a scripture. It's kind of like a little teaching, but also it kind of forms your mind. It kind of just molds our brain for the day. You know what I mean? Today, I have a plan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it kind of just sets my day. Like it's pretty dope. She's nasty.
Yeah,
So smart.
we could definitely put that at the bottom of
Yeah,
the show notes
yeah.
of this
Yeah.
episode for people
Yeah.
who would like to dig into that. But since we're talking about business and network marketing, this is our podcast. We love to talk about life and all things finances because that's our main goal. Is try to help people out, just
Mhm.
learn about your money.
Yeah.
Your money. So yeah, let's dig into your history, sis. What is your first memory of dealing with money?
This kind of ties into my story. I've always been the worker of the family. You know,
Okay.
My parents went into ministry, like we were kind of talking about. I was always their financial backing. I was always a worker, always there with them. So I've always had a sense of like non-complacency. Like I just was never okay just sitting.
Go
So
getter. You're a
already,
go getter.
yeah, like this whole, the quarantine and this lockdown has really surprisingly, actually, you know what, let me not say that, has had people, kind of relaxing at home and stuff. But for me, honestly, like looking into everything that I'm studying for, things are actually getting busier for me during this time, I feel like right now it's so important to have your own. It's so important to have your own foundation and have the discipline to be out there working, whether somebody's allowing you to or not. You know what I mean? Like, you're just
Definitely.
not going to tell me that I'm not going to work and not make money. Like I am going to figure out a way.
Yeah, the coronavirus is a big wake up call for everybody.
A lot of people.
For me, the way I look at it is it's a big financial wake up call.
Yep.
And it's just going to separate.
Yep.
It's going to weed out the people who really understand and finances and money and how to survive, and those who just don't want to care. Those are just all right, whatever. I'm going to depend on the government. They'll take care of me.
Yeah.
But like you're a go getter. I see. You're just like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity.
It is.
Yeah.
It's nothing more. It's opportunity. Really, if you really look at it, this is an opportunity to really prep for what's really about to come. Because really, after this recession and when everything picks back up, it's going to be more powerful, and the numbers are going to be bigger and larger. At the other side of this.
Yeah, we got like 20 million unemployed right now in the U.S.
I think it's like 22.
22 million now?
I'm not really sure, but I know that in our state alone, in the last week here in Washington State, they had like 500,000 new unemployments. And that number is just going to get bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
So you're right. I mean, it's after this recession. I mean,
there's going to be so many savers. There's going to be a lot of people that'll be focusing on finances and how to be prepared for anything like this ever again.
I'm telling you, straight up.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, continue on with your story.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you said it. Like I think you hit it spot on. It's going to separate those who really, truly have a feel of like independence. You know what I mean? Like you just relying on somebody. It's kind of like education for me. Like really. I think it goes hand in hand, business does. And the reason why I say that is because like education it's great. The school systems are great and it's taught us how to get to where we are today. But I really also feel like everybody learns differently. Everyone learns differently. I may not get what you're understanding, or I may get something and you don't understand, you know what I mean? And especially during this time right now, it's something I've always practiced all my life is to teach myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rely on anybody to teach me anything. I'll go out and find the information myself. One thing that has always like irked me really is, in a conversation, hearsay, she say knowledge, where it's like, oh yeah, no, they said that this is happening and this, no, I need facts. I need to go figure out myself.
Yes.
I need to know myself. And during this time, especially, that information and that skill, I think, has been the most beneficial for me. It's such an advantage to have that type of mentality because that carries over to business, I think. You're the same way you're not going to tell me, what to learn and what pace. I'm going to go teach myself. Also, I'm going to go work for myself. I'm going to create lanes for myself. I'm going to figure out everything that I can do, I love, and I'm good at doing, and I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Study it.
Yeah, well, that's
Study the
strength.
shit out of it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then go for it.
Go for it. That's why I wanted you on this podcast, because I see you, on social media, even before the coronavirus thing. You're a go-getter, and I love that. I love that
Thank
passion.
you.
And just like you said earlier, of this is gonna, well, of course, it's separating us, but I love what you said about educating yourself, because that's what we preach on here. And a lot of people right now, if you go on, I mean, you can name all the social media outlets. All you see is people posting, oh, my stimulus check is coming and this and that. Oh yeah, I'm just waiting. Oh, did you get yours yet? Oh, I don't know, I got. But when you're a go-getter like yourself, you're doing the research yourself. It's like, I'm not gonna be asking people, where's my stimulus check? Or how am I gonna get it? I'm not gonna depend on a news feed. I'm gonna go to the website. I'm gonna call the people. I'm gonna get the information myself. I'm gonna educate myself.
You're also not relying on it. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, I have my stimulus check coming. Okay, good. That's just more income for.
Exactly. And that's why, that's the goal. It's just another lane. It's just another income. But really, the goal for me financially, I want to have at least 20, 30 lanes set up. You know what I mean? Like, of income. Yeah. Multiple streams of income is my goal. So whatever I can get my hands into, that's like, I can make a sound decision. Everything looks right. It's all, I've studied everything about it and everything looks good. I'm going to dive into it head on, full on. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. I love that, because you remind me of a famous quote from all this, the shit I've been reading is, what, the difference between a person that's wealthy and a person with a poor mindset is what the wealthy person does with their time. And you're just telling me, what I hear is you're a go-getter. You like to go find multiple streams of income. That's the mindset of a wealthy person. That's the only way you can become wealthy and reach financial independence. People with the poor mindset, what they're doing with their time, they're Netflix binging right now. They are, just Amazon video, Prime Video binging. They're, on Twitter, Instagram, and it's fine if you want to do that for a little bit.
But it works for some.
Yeah. If you're doing it too much, man, you're not gonna.
Some people are at that, like, that stage in their lives where they're just frozen. They don't want to go up. They don't want to go down. They are just, I'm leveled out and I'm fine.
And that could be, due to multiple different, factors in their lives, and, whatever their home situations may be, maybe it doesn't grant them that freedom.
That's a good point to bring up. What you just said, like, everybody's different. Tipping point, like, we call it a tipping point. When you reach a certain tipping point, then it'll, you're like, oh, fuck this. I got to do something. I got to figure this out. So my question is, what was your tipping point?
That is a really good question.
Yeah. What's your tipping point that made you just like, I'm just gonna, I need to find all these multiple income streams, because our tipping point was we were throwing wrenches at each other.
Oh, really?
He's talking about like dodgeball. Thinking about dodgeball, you dodge the wrenches, and we're just throwing them. We're just throwing them at each other.
I love dodge wrenches.
Yeah, financially. Like,
blame game, right? Those the blame game, and the wrenches are pretty much the hits and the scores that we're throwing at each other.
Losing the house, being like 250, like a quarter million debt, you name it, being like just broke as a joke, not knowing. That was our tipping point where I just like, I need to do something.
We're stressing about finances,
like everything
financial.
Like we're one's without a job and kids and living paycheck to paycheck.
I'm chasing her. I'm chasing her down to the bingo hall, telling her, why you blowing on the paycheck.
Yeah,
we're fighting at each
really bad,
That was our tipping point.
That was our tipping point.
It's probably nothing compared to yours, but yours is probably
late.
Yeah.
Easy, but, tell the world what was your tipping point.
I think that's probably, honestly, now that you're going over it and hearing the question back, I think that's probably the most important question you can ask yourself. You know what I mean? And I think it's so detrimental in remembering that moment in your growth.
Yes.
Because that the answer to that question was the beginning of life for me. You know what I mean? It was the very pit, the bottom, the deepest, darkest bottom I could ever have reached. I reached it. I'll go over what that was in a second because it's a story. But after reaching that, like, for me, it created a fearlessness in finally, like, I'm going to now do what I want to do. I get to recreate now. I get to reinvent my life, like, based on the things that I love in my own foundation. It's not going to be what my parents have told me to do. It's not going to be what my siblings and I like have had history in loving doing. Everything Nana loves doing, like, I'm going to set it up myself, you know, and that's really what happened. I reached the bottom. The tipping point, the very beginning of it, we had been going through so much in our home and a lot of things going on. It was a mess. The breaking point
you ain't gotta dig into that. You don't want to.
It was a mess, just like we all go
through.
It
was a mess.
It was a hot mess.
It was a hot mess. You already know.
Were there holes punched in the wall?
All of that. But my dad got sick. And that was literally for me. That was definitely the tipping point. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few months prior to that, a couple months prior, I had undergone weight loss surgery.
Yeah.
So I had already been on a journey of like health, you know what I mean? So over time, I didn't know this, but you know, like, my dad getting sick was going to be the beginning of healing for me, of really rebuilding healthy thoughts, you know, uprooting like a lot of unhealthy habits and toxic traits that I didn't even realize I had. God was really using this time to heal me and cleanse me and prepare my mind for what I would have never thought would be today. You know,
I love that.
I would have never seen today happen. I never even thought I'd get out of those deep, dark places. My dad got sick. I was separating. I was getting in the middle of a separation. And in this time, what happened was God showed me, like, literally, you need to set your stuff up as an individual. You can't rely on anybody. Like, you really, Nana, and it was literally very clear to me. I need to set myself up into many bags. Get yourself together. Get your credit right. Met up with Victoria, Ito. Hey, girl.
Right on. Big ups.
Hey, DJ Loose Screws. So I met up with them and I kind of teamed up and just kind of was under their wing because you already know music is my passion. It is definitely what everything comes back to for me, as far as my grind and stuff.
Big ups to DJ Loose Screws.
Yes.
That's the Uso right there, fellow DJ, you know. And it's his wife, Victoria, right?
Yep, Victoria.
I've never met Victoria, but I met Loose Screws, the homie, you know, from the South End, Seattle. But yeah, man, big props to him.
Very well established in the promoting and the music.
He's like the number one DJ out, you know, in the West. He's
big. Vailima,
Vailima sponsor. He's a go-getter. I'll give props to those, man. But
absolutely, and you want to definitely surround yourself with people like that.
Yeah,
You have that same kind of drive. Like-minded people, like-minded folks. You get it. You get each other. You know?
You are who you surround yourself with.
Well, yeah, that was just a big, just a shout out to them. But go ahead.
Shout out, y'all. Hey. But that's what happened. That was my breaking point, and I didn't realize like that God would literally strip me of everything. Car, place. Like I'm actually still staying with my brother, you know, and rebuilding myself. And even that, like, I feel like it was important that I take my time, prepare myself, study, and really live in the moment, be present, you know.
Is that the broski right there?
Yeah.
Tell him I said what's up.
Ruben Henry says hi. He has his headset on.
Tell him I said when it's over, we about to go.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sure he'd be down though.
Yeah.
That was really what happened.
You know,
like,
I love that.
Imagine just Nana, like it's coming to a realization, like you're about to lose everything.
Yeah.
You are about to lose almost everything like that is so dear to you. So many dear things to you. You are gonna lose. And
that's a triple whammy.
Yeah.
Right.
You get your health, bouncing back from your health,
Yep.
stressing over pops, and then
Yep.
your own personal relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 3 strikes. Bam, bam. Yeah,
I
girl.
can understand
Yeah.
why it would be the tipping point.
That's just a good. I mean, this is the beginning of a great story, and I just want to hear, continue on, because a lot of
It
people
was
are listening.
definitely the beginning. It was
Okay.
definitely the beginning. I would find so much love again.
So where'd you find this love to help climb you out of this the bottom pit?
I think
What's the inspiration that you started getting, or who, or what?
I feel like people who have reached the bottom pits come out of it, or should come out of it with like a deeper compassion for people, for a deeper like love for like, dang, I know you where you are. I know where you are. You know what I mean? To like somebody else you see, it's so easy for me to identify somebody now who might be in their dark place. You know what I mean? And I have so much compassion. I try to walk every day with the same compassion and love for people, like the compassion and love for people, like you're not by yourself. You know what I mean? You really aren't. Mental awareness and health is so important to me. Protecting my peace is so important to me. All of these things started to develop when I lost everything.
It's all
Gosh,
good.
I mean, like literally car, place, everything just stripped. But the beauty in that was that I was now able to rebuild from scratch. You know what I mean? No ties to anybody. What is it that Nana wants to do? Like, what do I want for myself? And set a plan. I knew the first step I needed to do, get my credit straight.
Hey.
Finances. Focus on your finances. Don't be out here being messy, with your time. Because if your time is going to be messy, your money is going to be messy.
Yeah.
And that's really what I had been learning to balance during this time of, let me just give dates in here. So about August of 18 is actually when it happened for me. The click, when everything finally clicked and I knew what I was about to embark on. Like I knew.
What year was that? What was it?
Of 18.
Of 18. Okay. Sorry.
So yeah, like I just knew the journey ahead, like God was showing me the journey ahead of you is going to be a great one, but it's going to be a challenge too. You're going to come across some of the deepest challenges, the deepest like struggles and trials in rebuilding yourself. But honestly, now where I am today, I'm so healed. I am so happy.
Hey.
I am a happy person. Like I feel so blessed. I wake up every morning, literally always looking for an opportunity to bless somebody.
That's what's up.
And I feel like that's super important, is to just wake up.
Yeah.
I'm thankful. I wake up thankful because in my deepest, darkest pit, I'm telling you, like I would have nights, night after night, where I got to the point where I would just cry, like, still didn't know what to do, at the time, like so unhappy. I would just wail every night. And I just got to the point where I would literally pray, God, if I cannot live my purpose, if I'm not living my purpose, please take me. This was the deepness and the darkness that was in. Like, I'm not going to be walking around purposeless. Right. I'm not going to walk around not inspiring people, not inspiring myself, just uninspired, so like hopeless,
A lot of negativity, huh?
A lot. I just was I think an accumulation of happiness over all of these years. The break of the point that we're talking about, the tipping point of losing weight, going through everything with my dad and my personal life. What I found was that, like, how do I?
I think that like your story, you know, it
Definitely an
relates with a
inspiration.
lot of people,
Mhm.
you know, a lot of people. And I have a lot of times where, when we're to that tipping point where I would be, you know, like going cuckoo crazy. If I had long hair, I'd probably be pulling it out. I've been to
Yeah.
that bottom pit where, you know, I think I was in the car where that crybaby face. Yeah, what?
Seriously.
No, no. But honestly, this podcast is your story. Like what you said, it hits the most of you feel like right now you're feeling blessed, and to share that,
Yeah.
you know, to share that what you feel, and how you can see other people that have been there down to that bottom pit, and how
Or
you can just
they're,
share something to
yeah.
them to make them uplift their spirits. I love a lot of the wealthy people and successful people that I listen to. They always preach about when they have it all, they don't care. The most thing that the biggest reward they get is when they share
Yeah.
their
Be able to
experiences,
share
where
it.
they help, or actually when they help people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like that's a lot of people that have become financially independent.
Yeah.
They say after they reach it, they're like, I still feel lost. But
Yeah.
then they find their meaning in life, and that's to help others. Once they start helping others, then they have that feeling they've never felt, like, oh my gosh, this is what life is all about.
Yeah.
You have to help people.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
like Bill Gates, that fool is like, he's not Jeff Bezos right now. He's helping everybody out. Everything he's doing right is all donations, and even with the coronavirus, you know, and he's like big time, but on like minuscule levels like us. Like for me, you know, I told Tala, I said, I want to help people. This is the only way I can do it.
To be able to speak
Yeah.
about taboo subjects like
Yeah.
finances and
Because we got out of the hole. You know, we've been to the hole.
Right.
Just like
yeah,
you've
we're
been.
on a journey
We've
to
been to that
reach
tipping point, and
you know,
now
our financial independence. So
things are,
we teach as we go, and
Yep.
this is where we're at. This is what we just went through, and
Yep.
and hopefully it gives people a perspective in another lane
but like,
to use.
and also like you said, like you're so good right now. Life is just, you're feeling blessed right now. Man, it's crazy that our stories are kind of the same, because that's about the same time when you started, 2018.
Mhm.
That's when we started
Henry
climbing out the hole.
was learning,
I started educating myself,
educating himself.
and then things are like really, really good right now for us.
Yeah, we honestly can say that with the COVID, the quarantine, we've been blessed in
we set ourselves up
in
for success.
the aspect that we're not hurting financially.
Right.
We can probably last probably till the end of the year and just be fine.
And if we could do a podcast with you to talk about stuff like this that other people can listen to and get some inspiration, especially in our community, man, high five for everybody, because we're doing
Seriously, high five.
Yeah.
And that's really the goal, you know, that's really true life goals. Like none of us have made it, you know, we have not arrived yet. But sharing experiences up until this point, I know, like just talking about just how some of the greats ahead of us like have paved the way, and the understanding that like giving also, it's like such a great feeling of like, I feel so like content with myself, you know what I mean? That's really what gratifies me. I feel good off of that. And it's not something that I want to wait to get wealthy for.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's something that I do in my practice in my everyday life now, whether I have a little, whether I have a lot, I will always literally listen for an opportunity from God to bless somebody. You know what I mean? If I see it, like if it moves in my spirit, I'm big on energy. I'm huge on energy. If I'm moved to like really bless somebody, I'm thankful. Thank you, God, for even bringing me out of the pits. You know what I mean? Like
I seen that energy back in 2017 before you started on this journey. When we were at our family reunion in Oregon, remember I was DJing, right? I was DJing, and I remember, I forgot what night it was, because we're, you know, for the listeners, we had cabins out, and we were there for like 3.
It was the second night.
It was
during
our
family night.
Yeah, and we were just having the Siva night, and then you came up to me and you said, I remember you were like, are you emceeing and DJing? I said, no, yeah, whatever. It's just family. I said, why you want it? She's like, and then you said, is it okay if I MC? I was like, go ahead, take the mic. I was like, we're all family here, do your thing. But I love that. That's why I knew. That's why it separated you from everybody. Because nobody knew I needed help.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was just like, man, I can play the music and everything. I'm just hanging out, relaxing, but it'll be nice if someone grabs the mic and just does the thing, goes around the floor and talks with the family. And you stepped up to the plate, and I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I was like, go ahead, do your thing. Just like,
that was fun, man. That was such a great night.
And then you came back the next night, and I was like, the mic's right there. Pick up the mic, do your thing. Thank you for answering.
I'm telling you.
That was dope. That was dope. Thank you for that, though. That was a great story.
Thank you, because that was fun. That's like I was saying, that's my heart right there. It's kind of just being behind the mic and on the stage. And
you did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was fun. That was hella fun, and it was just family too.
Yes.
And a lot of people, even though it's just family, a
Some
lot of people just can't do it.
to,
They're just they got that fear, that self-doubt holding them back. But you just stepped up to the plate, and that's what I love about people like you, sis.
We're not scared.
I think I danced right by you while you were on the mic, and I was like, hi, sis.
Too good of times, man.
Yes, that was fun. I think I was maybe 40% sober that whole time.
That's more than any of us.
Oh, I think that's the reason why I was thankful you grabbed the mic, because I needed a beer in one hand.
That's true. Multitasking.
And I didn't have a mic stand.
Oh my gosh, no, it worked. I was like,
it was dope. You did a hell of a job, and I was just like, yeah, thanks, Nana. That's what I think the next night I was like, hey, the mic, come grab the mic. And you were like, for real? I was like, yeah, MC, you're the MC.
Right.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. So for the next
initiative, you know what I mean? Just take the initiative, be bold, be fearless, you know what I mean? Like, it's really everything that we do can be fun.
Right.
Everything that we do. And the more fun you have, the more grateful you are for, opportunities like that. I think more great opportunities come to you. You attract more opportunities the more you're thankful for them. Huge law of attraction fan. Like, I just...
Oh yeah, law of attraction. Yeah.
Super into all of that and energy and vibes.
It's true though. Attractive people attract. Remember where we learned that was a quote we learned.
Well, explain a little bit about the law of attraction.
It's I think that thank you for giving me that. It's pretty much you kind of like going back to the Bible. You reap what you sow. It's kind of the energy you put out, you're going to attract that. So, and I truly feel like I've seen it so much in this journey. It's made me like a firm believer. Like I'm attracting so many good business people because my heart is there. I'm like hungry for it. I'm driven to like find that information. I'm like attracting that type of energy. You know what I mean? And I vibe with only that. And in attracting that type of stuff, you also kind of disassociate yourself with like things that are old. That also is Bible, things are made new every day. And
that's dope. That's a great comparison, the way you're putting it like this though, like comparing it to the Bible and stuff. I like that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like some things that, especially, growing up in a Samoan household, a lot of the things, we're kind of just like late bloomers. You know what I mean? Like we hold on to a lot of things until it's like later. Later in life. Like we just started life. I didn't start life until like being able to go out, with that type of freedom. We didn't have that until like recently, really. And my point with that is that like in connecting it is.
Don't worry, you'll get there.
I know.
Dude, I just love it.
That's the one thing I love about podcasts. Trust me, I do it all the time. I got like 5 different freeways in my brain, and she be like,
"There's a lot going on right now."
I have to like turn him
steer
around.
back to the right, you idiot. And I'm like, oh, okay, my bad.
Back to
I'm
the
driving off
subject at
course.
hand.
Right. No, I don't even remember. So
It's okay. Just go on. It's fine.
That's the great thing about
our
podcasts.
podcast. It's just Tyler. No,
Yeah, just as if we were together and just chilling.
So I have another question then. So we're just gonna move on. It'll probably come back to you, but
it will.
so I look at you, and you are an entrepreneur. You're a go-getter. So how is it now as a Samoan entrepreneur going through the COVID-19? Like, is it harder, easier for you? I mean, is it different?
Just what do you mean, like within the Samoan community, like,
or just yourself? Yeah, within you.
I think just you
with the whole pandemic thing going on. I mean,
I think I think like how we were talking about business earlier. How right now
streams.
This is like a perfect opportunity as an entrepreneur to make more money.
Yeah,
or generate more income because you're doing DoorDash. Yep.
Oh yeah, so I'm doing DoorDash on my spare time.
DoorDash. Oh yeah. We were talking about that before we started the podcast because we have something in common, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I've been talking about that on like my last 2 podcasts I was on.
Yeah, he was a guest on a couple of podcasts.
So yeah, just so tell the viewers like who don't know what DoorDash is, just what it is.
So basically it's Uber. It's a delivery service. You know what? Let me get back into that because I need to touch on that.
Okay. Now you remember. Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna make a mental note right here. I'm actually.
Don't even worry about it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So DoorDash, Uber Eats.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Me, that's a multiple stream. That's a side hustle. We call it side
it's definitely a good side hustle because it's on your own timing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can create your own schedule.
Right.
Accept and decline orders whenever you want, depending on your schedule. So that's really what I love about it. And also I love driving. So like just being on the road, gives me solitude.
I'm not a driver. I drive to work and back.
And that's all. So let me just say this.
Go ahead.
So how we're talking about, entrepreneurship and the mentality of having it. It actually, for me, yes, it came from all the tipping point and all that, but it's always something that my dad has kind of ingrained in our minds is to be creative. And I mean, my dad, and I don't know if you know this, but my dad was an innovator. He was brilliant. He is a genius.
Uncle's was a brilliant man. Yeah.
So let me tell you, since we're on this subject,
go ahead.
He started in, I want to say 91 or 92. He started a business called Taylor's Delivery Service.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Wow.
He had always been he'd always been driven. Like he was a wrestler. He was plumbing. He had all of these different avenues, which I think that's where I kind of have picked up
that mindset.
Yeah.
That trait.
Yeah. Like he just touched everything he loved doing. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do too. But Taylor's Delivery Service was what we now know today. It's present day Uber Eats, DoorDash. We started this in 91, Taylor's Delivery Service. I mean, seriously, like this was the delivery service. People called in. We fulfilled orders from different restaurants. I mean, he had it down. This is almost 30 years ago.
What? That is insane. That's insane. Pops came up with that idea 30 years ago.
I'm telling you, no lie. He had all of it.
Before the internet or really apps and iPhones, smartphones. That is crazy.
He didn't have the resources. He had the brain and he had the innovative ideas, but he didn't know how to tap into the different resources, which we have ample of today. So I don't feel like there's any kind of reason why, I can't find. And this is why it's been so important for me to take time to study everything, because I want to find the loopholes that my dad didn't have. He was missing, because there were multiple times growing up or after Taylor's Delivery Service, like he would come with ideas like, Nana, what do you think of this? This and this and this, like, he was just always creating in his mind. And that really
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. That runs in your blood. That's in your blood because, you know, like innovators. You know, Pops is an innovator. You know, and
those are good traits.
Yeah, that's crazy. And a lot of people, you know, they disregard the Polynesians, man. This is, you know, Onks had it already 30 years ago.
And you know how crazy, can you imagine how crazy people people must have been calling him crazy like all the time. People weren't grasping the craziness of his ideas. You know what I mean?
It's always like that, right?
What?
A lot of the innovators, you see the Jeff Bezos, right? Yeah. It's the same thing. He started over 20 years ago with Amazon.
What's his name?
They thought he was cuckoo, you know.
The Elon Musk. You know, the Tesla. I mean, his brain is like it's like a super, you know, computer.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that's dope. Though.
Yeah, just creating
the craziest ideas. Yeah. Taylor's delivery service. But yeah, he had everything set up. He had business relationships with the different restaurants around the area. We did legwork for him. We went and passed out flyers. We put flyers all over car windows up in High Point.
Wow.
I remember walking through like the Juanita apartments. Like we just put flyers on everybody's car. Yeah. Then we didn't have like social media.
Yeah. That's crazy. On
every car window we could, different restaurants. So he had the idea right. We didn't have the manpower. We didn't have the customer service right.
That's 100% about entrepreneurship though, you know, and all these big guys who made it, they've all failed. It's like you have to fail. That's what we love to preach. Is that you have to fail in order to succeed. But you learn and you learn just like riding a bike. You never learn how to ride a bike in Papa Willie if you don't fall down, like you know, 20, 30 times before you start. You know?
That trial and error. You know, that risk is everything. But and that's really like my heart is not to pick up where he left off, but really to just understand like that this is in my blood. Like this is really ingrained, embedded into who I am in my DNA. Like it really is. You know,
hey, if you got any ideas, I'm willing to invest in it because later down the road, if it blows up, and be like, I was a part of that. Shoot.
Hey man, DoorDash, I'm so upset.
Yeah, that's tight though. That's dope. That's a dope story.
Yeah, and then you know, like all of our land out in Tafuna, like all of these things, like have really kind of shaped my mind to really let's make sure our T's are crossed. Everything is all set up. Let's study everything. Let's make sure, you know, because our Taylor family, you know, with all the loss, you know, with the land in that whole, you know, lawsuit, really whatever's going on there.
I don't know nothing about it too. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because we're raised out here, you know. It's so crazy. But yeah, like you said, to educate yourself, and if you want to learn about it, it's possible. Anything's possible. But yeah, that's dope.
That was something actually I took from The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I remember watching an interview or just hearing something from him. He really made it a point when he decided to get into the movie business. He really emphasized on not just himself, but around the team that he knew he was going to be developing with. Everybody's going to learn the movie business with me. We're going to learn everything that we need to know about this movie business, front to back, top to bottom, if this is going to be something that we're going to jump into. And he made sure everybody on his team was on the same page, you know, and that's so important is study. Again, goes back to the Bible. Study to show yourself approved. You know what I mean? Like, I know what I'm talking about now. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of mentality you want to step into everything with, and just without any type of unsure.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. The Rock, big inspiration. Just like you said, surrounding himself by a team. I talked about it too in a previous podcast about what I had to surround myself was not physical people, but mentors through the internet. That's how I surrounded myself with reading. I read a lot of books before. Well, it was more audio.
He likes audiobooks.
I did a lot of audiobooks, but a lot of those books were just mentors, like great mentors of like a lot of wealthy people right now.
Just
And
financial
yeah,
education in general. So yeah.
and just people like right now, like the Gary V's, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of the good motivational people, the Les Browns. Man, it's just, that's a great way for people to surround yourself with a team. If you don't have one,
If you don't
can't,
have one in a
if you don't
physical
have the rock
presence.
kind of money to,
Right.
Create
Not yet.
one.
Not yet.
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
A year, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
But yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And since we're talking about like side hustles, DoorDash. Like I always try to make sure the listeners that are out there to get something from this. So me as a financial guy, like you said, you don't like to sit around. I have a day job, you know, and I don't like to sit around right now through this COVID-19 thing.
Yeah.
It's just like there's nothing you can do where everybody's quarantined, but there's essential needs services. And I told Tyler, I said, man, I'm gonna go look in this Amazon Flex thing where you just drop off for Amazon. But when I looked at the app, this is just a quick story. When I looked at the app, it said like 1 star, and it was horrible reviews for the Amazon Flex.
Yeah.
So then I scrolled up.
Because their app crashes.
Yeah, they had the worst
like DoorDash.
reviews.
This
We had one yesterday.
Oh yeah, I went through that.
So I'm saying, like, you know, with any delivery service, your smartphone is your life.
Yeah,
when you're delivering,
that's your job,
so
right? So
Amazon Flex, that was a lot of people's complaints was just the app itself.
Yeah, so I scrolled up, and then the DoorDash was right under, and literally like in 5 minutes, I was just signed up. I did everything, and then all of a sudden, they said, "Okay, we'll get back to you after your background check." Next thing you know, an hour later, it says, "Oh, you're cleared. If you want to start DoorDash, you can start now." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, that's crazy."
Yeah, he called me. He's like, "Babe, I'm coming to get the car because I have a Prius."
Yeah.
So he was gonna come and switch off the car. So he was going out for his first rush.
And I wanted to test it, and I was like, "Okay, let me see how this money works." So it's easy. I used to deliver pizzas when I was out of high school.
Experience,
so it's like, oh, this is like delivering pizzas, but the money is quick money, especially in these times where people need money, if it's for income or if it's just a side hustle. It helps out. And a week after my first week of door dashing, and this was just part-time after my day job, like 2 hours, 3 hours a night, I got a check.
Yep.
You get paid. It's just that simple. It goes straight to a direct deposit, and it's income, especially in these times right now. So it's a great thing that we're talking about it, because there's a lot of side hustles out there, not only DoorDash, but a lot that are still considered essential needs that people can get into, you know?
It's true. I think they have a halt on accepting applications right now.
They do.
Yeah. If you sign up, they what they do is they send you like, oh, complete your background check. Then you go to your background check and it gives you like
spinning.
Sorry, we are not currently hiring. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I know.
I was even thinking about referring, the referral link. Like, why don't we use the shit out of that? You know what I mean? Like, it's what, $300 for every referral? I think there's like a stipulation.
Yeah, like 200 deliveries or something. Like you have to.
I just saw 3. Yeah.
Oh yeah, something like that. So.
Yeah, they have a referral, but
it doesn't work because they're not hiring.
Yeah, because they're not hiring right now.
That's what I mean. Like, it's a catch-22. They're hiring. They're like, because I saw that the referral like bonus was like 150, and then I saw it was 200. Right now it's 300. Yeah. But that's that bot, because they're not even taking any.
They're not even taking applications.
The reason why, they said, because my friend, I gave him a referral 2 weeks ago, and he said that they said they're not accepting at the time, but he's on a waiting list.
Yeah.
And then he's still on the waiting list, and they said the reason why is because of the COVID-19. But we're door dashing, me and you. And I told him, I said, I don't know what the fuck they talking about waiting lists, because they're always sending me text messages like, hey, Puyallup is busy. Busy. And I'm like, if y'all busy, why don't you hire these people that are on the waiting list?
Yeah, that waiting list must be like extremely long.
But I think it's a great side hustle. I just wanted to throw that in for people out there. If you want to be on the waiting list, there's other options too.
Yeah, there's Uber Eats, there's Grubhub, there's a lot of other.
There's Postmates and stuff.
Postmates, Instacart. Geez, I can't even. You know, there's like so many. I'm like,
But I do have.
You got in just in time, like that timing.
Yeah.
Impeccable.
There's this one thing I'm gonna put at the bottom of the show notes for this episode, and it's how to earn money without a traditional job. It was a feed that somebody posted in one of our.
Yeah, it's kind of great.
Yeah, it's 150
different
apps
ideas of
and sites for side hustle cultures, and this is like a picture of it right here. But I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the show notes, and DoorDash is one of them up there next to Uber Eats.
Dope. That's dope. I'll take a look at that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it. If you're watching a Zoom video or the YouTube page, you can see it, and it's a website. You just click it, but I'll have that at the bottom of the show notes, and it has a lot of.
One of the ones that I signed up was for transcribing. Because he's like you. He likes to get out. I'm more like I can set myself and do a side hustle right in front of a computer. So transcribing, which is one of them, does you basically get paid for every audio hour. So if I listen, not for every hour, so if I listen to audio recordings, all I do is I'm taking them from ear to putting it on in writing, verbatim.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, so you get paid for that. I think it was like $15 an hour, audio hour, not an hour. So I can
take a look at that. That sounds dope. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out there. It's on there. It's 150 apps for. It's called Without a Traditional Job, and especially in these times.
That'll
help so many people.
Yeah. I mean, we both still have our day jobs.
It's crazy because we seen this app like months ago. Because the community we're in, they're already pushing this stuff, right?
Posting this in the fire community. So
I seen the DoorDash, the Uber Eats. I was like, nah, I don't think I can get into that.
He looked
and then
at me
now
and I
I'm
was
just like, damn, I should have tried this out a long time ago. This is dope. DoorDash is so easy.
It's fun. No, I too am kind of in the same boat. Like I was blessed enough to be able to have like a good amount kind of set aside, prior to all of this happening.
Your emergency funds.
Emergency, yeah, seriously. Like, and so I'm pretty good also, and that's the position that's what you want to do. That's goal. Position yourself to where a global emergency won't be an emergency for you, in your finances. Everything around you can shake, but my world is like, I'm A-okay. So when my
foundation is strong.
Right, I am straight, Unfortunately, you know what I mean? Like it's hurt so many people around us,
even close family, friends.
I think that goes back to our stories about how you're great, we're great, but in order to become where we're at right now through this whole pandemic, we had to go through that tipping point, reach that tipping point, and fall in the hole, and then climb back out of it. A lot of people reach that tipping point where they just, they fall in and they just stay in there. They just don't know how. They just cry me a river. I can't get out. This is the end of the world. The
thing about being all the way down in the bottom is there's only one way out.
One way out.
Go up.
Yeah. So you gotta look up to Yesu.
Right.
Yesu, Rosama, Mole.
And that could be the way that everybody sees it, I think. You know what I mean? It's really just unfortunate that I think it's just a lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? The lack of exposure that we don't have to follow the system that we followed for the last 30, 50 years, like ahead of us, generations ahead of us. And it really, if you think about it, it doesn't work. Right. Strategies and tactics that they might have used to get money back in the 70s.
Yeah, worked for them then.
And we're still trying to implement that into our everyday lives now. No, even 10 years ago was way outdated.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like times are evolving. And so when you ask what I'm doing during my spare time during this quarantine, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to just make, I have like a quota every day that I would like to meet every day with DoorDash. And as well as with everything else, but get those orders out of the way, get that money out of the way, and it counts for everything else. Like covered all of my stupid spending. It's all covered with DoorDash.
No,
my
DoorDash.
careless spending. Oh my
DoorDash
God.
is like, in my opinion, is dope because I have my day job. I've been there for so long because you know it's a good job. I like it. I don't love it. You know, eventually I'll reach financial independence later down the road. We have a number set, but what I do as a side hustle, of course, as you know, and all the listeners, I DJ. You know, I DJ. I just pick and choose. People say, "Hey, I need a DJ." I'm like, "All right, 300, 500, whatever, and that's easy money." But coronavirus, I had to cancel everything. So I was like, all right, I got to find something else. I stumbled upon DoorDash and instant cash within weeks. And they also have an option where you can get instant cash for a little fee. I set up for that, but I probably won't use it. But anyways, DoorDash just came right on in and fit in. And I was like, damn, this is some good side hustle money. This is actually.
It really is. I mean, because I really probably would be driving around anyway.
Yeah.
Going to these restaurants anyway, or making a run to these restaurants for my mom anyway,
Yeah. I mean, what's the thing about the side hustle? It's not more. It wasn't because we were hurting or what I mean. His purpose. Oh, you want to tell her what your purpose of your DoorDash, his income that he's making from DoorDash?
Well, yeah, because what we do here, we're doing to reach financial independence, and all of our listeners know. If you go back to like episode 2 or even one of the episodes, it's our journey.
It's kind of
that's what our whole podcast is about. Is our journey. We increase our income any way we can, whether side hustle, multiple streams. And we lower our expenses.
Right.
And we put all of that into the fire community, which is what we do. We invest in our low cost index funds. And also we're going to invest in real estate. So all that money from DoorDash is going to our investments. We're just setting that up so it could just continue to make more money and make more money. So we can reach that number. But without DoorDash, our income will just still be steady. So
we'll be like stagnant.
Yeah. So this is a good stream of income coming in from DoorDash.
What happened was when he did the DoorDash, which was perfect, is we could never max out our 401ks. There's just no way with our expenses and and our goals. We just couldn't do that. And that was
maxing out 401ks. We never talked about that on our podcast.
Right. That's it's a retirement fund for anybody that's listening that you get
No, because we never did an episode on the fire community yet. That's coming soon. But
okay.
That's what
sounds interesting.
That's kind of where the majority of all his income for DoorDash is going is to be able to max out his 401k.
Yeah, that's our journey. A lot of real estate. We plan on getting some real estate and to help lower our biggest expense, housing costs.
Yeah.
But we talk a lot about that. Actually, we did talk about on the Growing Samoan 16 beginner
I don't know.
tips.
Apparently, there's a lot of episodes that we can't remember everything that we talked about. I'm pretty sure that we did mention 401s.
But the bottom line is we're increasing our income, lowering our expenses, and we're investing it. We're just investing it, and that's how you reach that number. That number, that financial.
You know how you say
just a little bit.
I do quarantine shopping.
She got to play money.
Man, you know what?
Quarantine shopping, they just show up at my door.
I'm coming in the house
to a minimum, but there are expensive. My habits are super expensive.
I don't go out anywhere, so all that money that I used to when I used to go play or go to bingo or whatever it may be.
They come in the form of Amazon packages.
So now I order from Macy's or
Macy's boxes. I'm coming home like, oh damn, you got another package?
You have to be proud of what you're working for. It's a must.
Right. It's not like it's all the time.
But that's that play money we talk about. It's perfectly fine.
That's why I say quarantine shopping. I'm like, I need something. And where am I going to wear it? But still,
I know we were talking about. I was trying to find a new laptop. And so I was going to go the route of getting a refurbished A-grade MacBook.
Right.
Yeah.
Even downgrading, maybe an Air would be okay. Kind of just trying to talk myself out of buying a new laptop.
A new one.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a new one.
Hey, it's a great investment. That's how
it's an amazing investment.
It's a great investment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
when you're frugal,
I can't.
I just go for the refurbished, but
I could have, but for me, it was a mental thing.
and that's
Like,
perfect. No, that's
I have
perfectly
to.
fine.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to like lower my want or need in life. Like I have to level myself, my work up. You know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah.
Yes. And so that's what my DoorDash is going towards.
Is this the one?
Making up for the loss here. I lost about $1,500. So
yeah.
Oh, you didn't lose it. I wasn't even looking at it like that.
Investment.
It's an investment.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Are you using it?
I got to make that back. You know, I got to put.
Are you using it right now or?
Yep. I'm on the laptop. I have the new Pro.
Dude, I love my MacBook.
Touch bar.
Yeah. You getting used to it? It's crazy, huh?
Amazing. Yeah. Best investment ever, because I'm realizing how much work I can do now. You know, this has opened up so much freedom to do so much more.
Well, it helped me out majorly when I was DJing, you know, because I was rolling with HP for a while, just because I was, you know, frugal, cheapo, fabulous like that. But I was like, all right. She was like, just get a MacBook.
I told her, I said, just get a MacBook already.
And then, whoa, that happened once we started learning about financial education. I was like, hey, you know what?
Then he had his play money. So then he built his play money to be able to buy him one.
But that's dope. That's dope.
But
that's another thing. Like, it's investing. And that's Dr. Nicola Smith Jackson was actually, you know what's really weird? Somehow, I believe in the law of attraction. Like, the things that I kind of go into the next morning heavy-hearted about, or whatever's on my mind, a lot of the time she's touching on it the next morning. Yeah. And one of the things that I had been struggling, my laptop story, I'd been struggling for 2 weeks trying to find what I'm going to invest into this laptop, how much importance do I want to put into it being newer, or just working with something used, whatever. Right. And she literally said, you know what I mean? Like, one morning, people don't invest in themselves because they don't believe that there's going to be a return. I will bet on myself every time I'm going to make this back. So yeah, that was my decision. And you know, the lesson I got with that, all that time I wasted, I wasted 2 weeks. I could have done so much work had I just make the decision. Just make the decision. That's so critical in moving forward. Just make your decision, and yes or no, go.
I'm the worst at that. You got right here. I'll be everywhere just stopping, and she'll be like, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know. I got to figure out if I should do this. I'm horrible. I still to today.
You know, it's just one of those quirks. You know, we both have our own strengths and our own weaknesses. You know, we both have strengths and weaknesses.
You balance each other.
We're total opposites. We have nothing in common.
When it comes to like
absolutely nothing.
When it comes to those decision makings
really
that I pause on, it's most of the time it's for little stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you know me, sis, as a, you know, in our family, I'm considering myself what was it? No, there you go. In our family, you know, I consider myself a leader, right? Because a lot of, you know, when you know you're a leader in your family, you got to step to the plate. You don't realize it, but people look up to you. They ask questions. When it comes to decision makings towards the families, whether it's mom's side, our side, or my dad's side, or even my own siblings, you know, out of me, you know, the broski and sissies. Yeah, I consider myself a leader, and you gotta make those decisions quick. There's no hesitating. As a leader, you gotta be out there and you gotta just boom, boom, boom. But when it comes to me and
when
we're just shopping, I'm just like, hold on, wait a minute.
I'm so indecisive.
List, right? See me, I'm not undecisive. If it's not on the list, but I want it, it's going in the cart, right? Like, I'm just gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'll hop on my phone.
He grabs 2.
I'll research it.
He's like, should I? And so I've already grabbed everything, because he's sitting there with the cart. I've already ran around the store and brought like things, and he's still going. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Like ordering my MacBook, when I order my MacBook from Amazon, it's like a week.
Yeah.
Wait, which one should I want? I can get
Yeah. And I get it. But my thing was, I was telling him, and I was like, okay, you got the processing speed. All you need to worry about is the color. You want black or you want silver?
And then I'll tell her.
It can be like this. Yeah, so simple.
This is what I'm getting. And then the next thing you know, she's like, did you get it? I'm like, no, I changed my mind.
But it's just us. When he's doing decisions for anybody else, anything else.
It's on point, right?
On point. But when he's at home,
so thought out.
And then you wonder why I'm starting to get the gray in my hair.
I guess
well, this type of stuff where I knew it was going to be a great investment. I wanted to make sure that, again, like I studied what I was going to be getting or paying for, you know, make sure that it followed.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It took him 2 weeks to figure out finally which one he wanted.
I feel you. I feel it. Which one did you get?
Well, the MacBook?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I don't even.
You don't even know. That's all.
It works for me now.
It got to the point.
Yeah.
Just get it.
I love it. Such an amazing investment. Like
Oh yeah, it's something I really needed for my DJing gigs.
Yeah, that's what it was for.
But now I use it for everything now. It's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too. I know that you've been hit too with your side hustle too. I just had gotten in with Rain. Rain is it's a marketing company, and we basically.
No, is that you?
I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that's fine.
No, you're fine.
Is that the one that you sent me, or is that something totally different?
No, that was all my. We're not gonna get into that. Was a spam message. That was gonna lead to nowhere. It was gonna lead to absolutely nowhere for you.
I don't care. I've been through it. We've been through it, you know. So it's like,
man,
it's nothing to me to talk about. I'm talking about him.
All of that. That's part of your trial and error.
Yeah, we've lost some bit of money, just
business opportunities, you know.
And you know what? If you don't try them, you'll never learn. But we did take. We can say that like Henry preaches is like he took something from everything.
Yeah.
So what we may not have succeeded in business opportunity, but he learned what he took from that, he used it and applied it to
there's
other things. So
I have something written down here that I'll just write notes, and this is for a lot of listeners, and this is what I learned as an entrepreneur, for you entrepreneurs out there, and understanding businesses. Like, I got this from Robert Kiyosaki and I loved it. It's just a basic information about businesses. There's 3 types of businesses. First one is traditional. It's just your mom and pops, your big businesses. That's just the first one. Second is a franchise, where, you know, you have franchise like McDonald's, Wendy's, everything's already set up. And then you just pretty much buy out the store and you still work for the franchise company, but you get paid. You own a business. And the last is network marketing. And that's where you're just pretty much, you're network marketing, you're out there networking and you're selling stuff. But the last one is something that we were talking about. We touched up about sometimes on our podcast about network marketing. I said I was going to have a podcast to tell our story. But as an entrepreneur, a lot of us start with the network marketing. That's what we started off with. And you learn, you fail, you do some things, you try some things out. But like what Tala was saying is, I'm not going to go deep into what we did, but what she was saying was that I loved certain things from all these things. And I picked out the things I loved.
The positive.
And I still got that with me.
Yep.
I learned. It's like, then, like she said, or we talked about, you got to fail in order to succeed. And when I tried certain things out and failed, I didn't lose anything from it. I gained a lot, and it just stacked up my, my foundation, my know-how. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that in, to add that in.
Oh, I would have to agree. It worked out the same for me too. With understanding or learning network marketing. I mean, I hadn't even really fully like jumped into it really at the point. I was really just taking time to learn, like you, just like you. Mm-hmm. I mean, I even usually in network marketing, like models, you jump right into it. You jump right into, you just learn what you can real quick. And then you have to start getting, your clients and stuff, you know what I mean? Like you have to start building right away. And that's really kind of, it's super quick how, the process usually works when it's successful, you know what I mean? But no, not for me, it was about learning it first. Like I was saying, so I attended seminars, traveled for business and got to like kind of really sit and rub shoulders with like various business owners.
Nice.
And I got to kind of just pick their brains, and even under network marketing, Dr. Nicola Smith Jackson went to her house and had a couple conversations with her, and just kind of, so seeing and hearing and being able to just spend time with so many successful business owners and people, one thing that the same exact thing, I've taken something from everybody, you know what I mean? And I'm going to find a way to implement that into what I love doing and my own endeavors.
Yeah.
You know, because their niche is probably not mine. You know, what they're selling, it's not what I'm passionate about, you know what I mean? But I love your strategy. I love your thought process and making it successful. And that's what I'm taking away from everybody that I can.
Yeah.
One of the things that I took from one of the seminars, one of the girls had said that she would, every seminar would go up to leaders, just whatever leaders you can, you know, kind of just get a second or two with 2 questions. What made you successful? What do you feel is a golden ticket to make you successful?
Mm-hmm.
And also, what will you never do again in business?
Yep.
Those 2 questions, anytime I have a chance to bump shoulders with somebody, you know, who has attained a lot more and I aspire to be, you know, who is clearly, you know, on their journey ahead of me.
Yeah.
2 things I always try to take from people. And that's really, if you think about it.
What were those 2 things again?
What is like just a golden ticket, golden nugget that has made you brought you where you are? You just something that's made you successful. You feel like is key.
And then what you wouldn't do?
And then number 2 is, what is something you will never do again in business?
Got it.
So the positive and the negative.
Yeah.
Go to the top.
You're alleviating so much error just by those 2 questions answered.
Yep.
You know? And that's literally, not even do I just do that in business now and learning and growing, but that's how I really see life too. You can learn from anybody. You can learn from anything. And I feel like as long as that's your heart to learn, you're going to evolve. You're going to keep growing. You're not going to ever be complacent. Things like this emergency will never have effect on you. Yes, it's here. Yes, it's here. And I understand that it's such an unfortunate like world that we're, you know, event that we're kind of all sticking together for right now. But really, it hasn't shaken anything that I'm doing. If anything, it's enhanced it so much more.
And there's a lot of
I feel like like the stress of like, Nana, where's your stuff together at? You know what I mean? Like, Nana, your stuff, your foundation, this should be the time. You know, this really is the time, like we said earlier, that will set you apart. What are you doing differently now? You know, nobody's telling you to go work. How are you being responsible with your time? How are you using that discipline? Like, what are you doing when nobody's watching, when nobody's telling you what to do? And those are all traits that I've tried to sharpen during this time. That's what I'm doing.
That's dope.
Using my time wisely.
Right.
That's dope. And I was gonna say this, and there's a lot of people who feel that way right now through this whole craziness, financial recession, coronavirus, is that some people are set for success, like you, like us. And I'm not saying like we're balling out of control. No,
by no means. I'm not
basics. The simple basics, right? The basic fundamentals that will get you, and I mean a little bit more, you know. And because I listen to a lot of people in our community who are just like hanging out. They're enjoying it. They're not. They have, you know, funds that'll last them for a while if they want. There's people who have reached financial independence that, you know, are living off of funds that is not being affected by the whole coronavirus. And it's a trip where if you look at our community, everybody's like, oh man, no, this is not gonna work out. It's just
this is our closest, like our what we surround.
But if you look at other communities that are out there in the world, people that we are a part of, you know, we're good, you know. So that's a great thing for you to mention. But I don't know. This has been a dope ass podcast so far.
Do you have any like questions or anything?
Yeah, you have any questions or, you know, something to say? But I'm gonna ask you a question before we end this though. Unless you want me to ask you it right now. I mean, So pretty much, I just want to ask you if you can give some advice to the listeners on goal settings, like before we end it out. If you have any your advice to all the listeners
Tips
on
and
how you set yourself your goals, and goal setting pretty much.
Yeah, it's like you said, we're all still in the process, but what has helped me thus far, in keeping everything kind of straight, because our lives can be messy. um, I don't rely on my mind. My mind is great. I feel like I have a great head on my shoulders, but even then I don't remember everything. You know what I mean? So committing everything to paper, write it down. Write it down.
Yep.
Write it down is so important. Getting everything organized ahead of time before your day starts. And I don't mean like day of, I mean like week before. Planning out as much as you can. This is something that I took from Dr. Nicola Smith Jackson. Okay. She has what she implements in her strategy, what she calls a cash calendar. And basically this is something that I've seen from across the board, different business owners, is what has made them so successful is organizing their calendars.
Okay.
And making sure that their lives are balanced. It's not all about work. It's not all about family. It's not all about spirituality. There has to be an even balance between everything in our lives, and how we allot that time is so important in
So true. So true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know, right? Everybody's like walking in now. Sorry for the noise.
No, you're okay.
No, don't worry.
We're almost done. So
it's just good. Family. Tell her it's just me.
Yeah.
Tell her it's heading low.
Right? She's stepped away. She'll be back.
Yeah.
Sorry, where was I? Writing it down.
Yeah, balance.
So it's kind of like back to the planner days. Break out your planner.
Totally is.
I used to laugh when
Well,
so coming around, I mean, like, this is something that you should already be doing, but I didn't realize the importance of it until I started tacking on more responsibilities and more ventures that I eventually want to get into.
You can't commit everything to memory. You have to write.
Commit it to memory, that's great, but you can't rely to remember all that at a given time. Like, a lot of times during my conference calls in the morning, I'm not even listening. I'm just typing away like everything that I'm not absorbing anything. I'm just typing everything that she's saying.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back and review the notes afterwards. And I don't think I have you guys on Snap or anything, but I usually will post like a picture of what I've gotten for that day. Like, just that's how I inspire other people on my Snap or whatever.
I barely be on like social media now. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
I was forced to put a Twitter out there because of the other podcasters. They were like, "Hey," but I like Twitter. Twitter's cool.
Yeah,
I'm on Twitter though right now.
Just to see what the newest updates or news or whatever's going on in the world.
I don't have a Snap, but you have our IG and our Twitter handle. So yeah, can you post it on there if you're able to, or it's just mainly your snaps?
Oh yeah, no. I'm gonna post a clip of this later once everything all gets all taken.
Oh no, I just mean like your daily stuff that you always say.
Just daily motivation. I feel like it's so important, like we were saying, in helping people. It feels like so gratifying for me.
I got the name of this podcast. I'm gonna call it now.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna call it "Win the Morning, Win the Day" with Nana Taylor through this COVID-19.
Oh, hey, I love it.
I'm writing that down right now. That's cool. So
love it.
Thank you, sis.
Yeah, thank you
for everything.
Thank you so much for thanking me for having me.
I need people like you on the Growing Samoan podcast.
Right.
We're gonna always come back to you for some more inspiration because Poly people, man. This is what this podcast is all about.
Thank you for inspiring. You probably touched somebody that is going through, or you probably needed those words of encouragement.
Somebody right now is in their cavale at the bottom of the pit. Just
right.
Crying,
I hope that's my goal. That's our goal, is that somebody is reached today. So I hope to make somebody say, thank you guys again.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Thank you for taking the time, and we appreciate you.
We're gonna have you on again.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yes, please let me know.
We're gonna
spice it up a little bit for that one.
At least now you know. We're
gonna have a little bit more secrets in that one coming out.
And yeah, before we end it off, I always like to give a health tip. And you know, I'm gonna ask you. You know, how was your journey through your health? What's a health tip that you can give the listeners? Because you look good, girl. Trust me, you look real good.
I feel good.
You're living healthy. You're feeling healthy. What's your tip for the growing Samoan listeners of a health tip? Any tip. It can be small, big, whatever.
Smile. Be happy.
Hey,
because that's where the fruits of your life will come. Be happy.
Smile
be grateful.
I love
thankful.
That. And we're gonna end it like that on a good note. So let's just everybody wave to the camera. Say cheese.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Peace out. We love you.
Thanks, sis.
Love you. Thank you.